So we come to the next move in the Pilates Qigong mix, taking the Qigong movement, just adding the Pilates bit with it, the breathing, etc. So it's called holding the golden plate of fruit. This one's called. It's basically a back extension, really, but a little bit of history with it. In old school Chinese philosophy, culture, etc. Fresh fruit symbolised new beginnings, and for instance pears would symbolise longevity, etc. But again, doesn't really matter all that. So we're just going to take the movement, but before we do that, let's get the breathing. The Pilates breathing, totally opposite for Qigong breathing. We're going to do that's generally breathing the belly like a balloon, but we're going to just do the opposite for the Pilates. Pilates supports the spine. Obviously any problems with this, don't even go there, because it's a back extension exercise. So any slip discs, don't even go there. But yeah, obviously all Pilates have levels. For say someone's even had, whatever it is, a car crash, whatever, they could do the easiest levels. That's my theory on Pilates. Don't always see this, but so say someone's had a really bad accident, should be able to come in and do the first levels, and then levels that move on. But again, I'm digressing. So we go for the breathing. Let's get the breathing. Standing Shizen posture, natural posture, feet to the front, relaxed. Okay, not forced anything. So let's zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Okay, zip up pelvic floor. You're going to explain the pelvic floor. As you're on a long journey, you want to go to the toilet. You're going to stop yourself going, that's your pelvic floor. Corset muscle, powerhouse, the girdle of strength is three layers deep. We get that by tucking in our belly buttons. So zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Then muscles go together. You can't do one without the other. Okay. And while you're doing that, we're going to breathe in through the nose right now and exhale through pursed lips. Just making sure these shoulders are down. You can do that if you like. Make sure they're down. Okay, not up here. Okay. And as you just keep repeating that, okay, zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Then muscles go together. Can't do one without the other. You're going to simply carry on breathing in through the nose, whenever you like, and exhale through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips for as long as you like. Okay, lovely. And you'll naturally feel right now as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, that breath going into them lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach, because there's nowhere else the breath to go right now as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals right now, apart from into them lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Keep breathing in organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep, into them lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach, as you're still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals. That breath can go nowhere apart from into these lower lobes of lungs. It's going to go nowhere except the belly. It won't go into that because you're zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals right now, and allowing that simplicity to relax the mind as you breathe in through the nose whenever you like, and exhale through pursed lips whenever you like. Lovely. And just to see that's happening, to emphasize that to you, that's happening right now, we're going to get these two middle fingers touching as you do that underneath what we call the xiphoid process, the sternum, the breastbone. Okay, you've got the sternum, it goes again, it ends there. Two middle fingers touching there, palms on the lower lobes of the lungs, let these shoulders down there, and just carry on as you are. Zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, and simply breathing in through the nose, whenever you like, and exhaling through pursed lips. As you're following the journey in through the nose and out through pursed lips, as you're still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, as you breathe in You feel these two middle fingers slightly apart and come back to touch each other. Might be a millimetre or a centimetre, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. And these two middle fingers, which are underneath the breastbone there, we move like seaweed on the bottom of the seabed to the sides and back. Like I say, it could be a millimetre or more, a centimetre, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. This is just emphasising and letting you know, as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, there's nowhere else the breath to go apart from into these fish gills, these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but our stomach. So much so, our two middle fingers slightly apart and come back to touch each other. Right now, just simply adding width to the lungs and length of that out breath as you exhale through pursed lips. Lovely. So I'm just cracking out the shoulder there. Lovely. As you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, keep breathing into these fish gills wide and full. So someone's opening an umbrella inside your rib cage and letting go, or someone's just pushing out from inside your ribs and letting go. That lovely, free, expansive breath. Lovely. You can take them hands down there and just carry on zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out the abdominals, breathing in from the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. That lateral thoracic breathing, that will let us use our pelvic floor and our corset muscle 3 layers deep right now, wrapping around our spine, 3 layers deep. What we call the transverse abdominis, which is supporting the spine. Lovely. So just to, as you're doing that, just let us know where them muscles are as you're still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals. We get these thumbs here, just basically from the hips all the way round. Again, like a beeline, bikini line, outline, we're going to call that. Thumbs here, follow it round, they join. Now again, anything lower is going to be pelvic floor. Anything above is joining on like cling film, 3 layers deep, is our corset muscle on this beeline. So we've got 3 layers of abdominals. That corset muscle is the one we get when we tuck in, the transverse abdominis. That's joining on this beeline, 3 layers deep, this corset muscle. Okay, that's where that is. That joins on like cling film to our pelvic floor here, which is lower. Now again, if you breathe in and cough, you'll feel them go together. Okay, that just lets you know they go together. You can't do one without the other. Okay, so if you cough, everything comes in towards the spine, pelvic floor and corset go together. Take them hands away. That's more of like a workshopy moment, just letting you know you can't do one without the other. But again, we're saying it consciously right now. Zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. And keep breathing in through the nose, whenever you like. And exhaling through pursed lips. And we just showed you that just because as you're doing this right now, that's going to be even more efficient because you know them muscles are there right now. Okay? And just by knowing them muscles are there, you can use them even more efficiently. Sometimes it can be a little bit like an amnesia. Don't know the muscles are there. We won't use them in the correct fashion. Even though they're there, we're using them in the correct fashion. Zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals. Breathing in for the nose whenever you like. And exhaling through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. Remember that exhale. That's going to work like that cough or a sneeze. That helps you throw on that corset and zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. That powerhouse, that girdle of strength supports our spine. Now again, the full motion, I'm not going to do it myself, it's going back here like limbo style. Okay, again, you do that on the in-breath because again, the spine's naturally doing this all day long as we're breathing in micro movements. Exhaling, breathing in. So in little micro movements all day long, you're exhaling, breathing in. Exhaling, breathing in. So we're going to emphasize that motion. I'm going to go and just modify this. Sort of Mackenzie's back extension. Spread the fingers, hands on here. You lean back. Again, feet's a little bit wide as you breathe in. Still throw on that corset, but again, if you don't want to go back far, don't go there. If you can, fine. like I say, I wouldn't probably do it if you got any slip disc. I wouldn't even bother. Again, there's other exercises you do. See, I've just noticed my shoulders are up, shoulders down. Exhale might be here, and breathe in, or you can exhale back further and breathe in. I'd soften the knees a little bit, that gives you a little bit of support there. Exhale, breathing in. Okay, there are other versions. You can go all the way back there, or basically here, holding a golden plate of fruit. Here you can modify it. But again, if you need that, then do it. So that's, I'd say, that'd be like the first level here. It could be a small motion or a bigger motion, or take it on further. Soften the knees. Take the feet wide if need be. Okay, that gives you a little bit of support there. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you don't need support, that's fine. Just go to here, or you go all the way back. But again, it's just a little motion, just to stretch these areas here, because our abs, basically you've got 3 layers of abdominals there. You've got the six-pack one, the ascetic one we all know, okay, the top layer here. Then we've got internal obliques, so from here, like across, going across the body, that's the second layer deep. Then we've got our corset muscle, 3 layers deep. That's the one we were talking about, the transverse abdominis. By tucking in, we get that. Now again, with this motion, we're just stretching this area, because this does get very compressed here. Again, by bearing gravity through the day, might be the end of the day, we're all bearing gravity basically. So this just stretches that muscle there. But again, do it within your limits. Again, you don't want to be just hacking back. I mean, you know, if you're athletically able to do that, that's fine. You know, any real problems with backs, I would literally go for the modified version, see how it feels first. Again, I wouldn't even bother you with a slip disc, anything like that. There's other exercises you can do. It's like a sort of standing cobra really, but again, as with all Pilates, you can modify the range. So again, it can be a small motion or a big motion. Okay, again, as you breathe in, exhale, come back there. Okay, so again, shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. If you're doing this, spread the fingers and just work with the breath and calibrate and synchronize and integrate the breath with the movement. Remember, it's your union of your mind and body, no one else's. So only make this as easy or as hard as you like, with the speed and tempo and modifications we give. But again, quite a basic motion. Like I say, I mean, they're all far out names, these. It's basically a back extension. Obviously in Qigong, you go into the meridian, stuff like that. The breathing to the belly, stuff like that. But again, I'll do that in other tapes. But again, this is just a motion. We're adding the Pilates principles there with it. Bit of back extension there, just to help us, because we are generally here. And when we are here, we might be bustling up this area and compressing it a little bit. And what tends to happen is people go in gyms and do ab crunches that pull us more this way, So, you know, anything like that, you would want to stretch them muscles there or do some extension, but that's going into other planes. But yeah, so that's holding the golden plate of fruit. Again, a bit of a far out name, like some of these Qigong ones are. So yeah, just modify it. Like I say, any slip discs, I wouldn't even go there with it. There's other ones you can do, back extensions. I mean, you can even sort of go on the wall and just, you know, lean in a little bit, get some extension there. But that's quite supportive on that one there. Opens out the chest as well, the pecs, heart, lungs, pericardium, all them organs that opened out like a book. Bang. So that's the end of that. Pilates Qigong mix. Bang, lovely.